Today we are continuing with the classes of Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and up next is the Paladin. Now, I do have a Paladin in my campaign. He's one of my first time players, so none of this should be new to me, but you know, I'm forgetful and there are so many details. So let's refresh my memory together. Clad in plate armor that gleams in the sunlight, despite the dust and grime of long travel, a human lays down her sword and shield and places her hands on a mortally wounded man. Divine radiance shines from her hands, the man's wounds knit closed, and his eyes open wide with amazement. A dwarf crouches behind an outcrop, his black cloak making him nearly invisible in the night, and watches an orc warband celebrating its recent victory. Silently, he stalks into their midst and whispers an oath, and 2 orcs are dead before they even realize he's there. Silver hair shining in a shaft of light that seems to illuminate only him, an elf laughs with exultation. His spear flashes like his eyes as he jabs again and again at the twisted giant, until at last his light overcomes its hideous darkness. Whatever their origin and their mission, Paladins are united by their oath to stand against the forces of evil. Whether sworn before God's altar and the witness of a priest, in a sacred glade before nature spirits and fey beings, or in a moment of desperation and grief with the dead as the only witness, a Paladin's oath is a powerful bond. It is a source of power that turns a devout warrior into a blessed champion. The cause of righteousness. A Paladin swears to uphold justice and righteousness, to stand with the good things of the world against the encroaching darkness, and to hunt the forces of evil wherever they lurk. Different Paladins focus on various aspects of the cause of righteousness, but all are bound by the oath that grant them power to do their sacred work. Although many Paladins are devoted to gods of good, a Paladin's power comes as much from a commitment to justice itself as it does from a god. Paladins train for years to learn the skills of combat, mastering a variety of weapons and armor. Even so, their martial skills are secondary to the magical power they wield. Power to heal the sick and injured, to smite the wicked and the undead, and to protect the innocent and those who join them in the fight for justice. Beyond the mundane life. Almost by definition, the life of a Paladin is an adventuring life. Unless a lasting injury has taken him or her away from adventuring for a time, every Paladin lives on the front lines of the cosmic struggle against evil. Fighters are rare enough among the ranks of the militias and armies of the world, but even fewer people can claim the true calling of a Paladin. When they do receive the call, these warriors turn from their former occupations and take up arms to fight evil. Sometimes their oath leads them into the service of the crown as leaders of elite groups of knights. But even then their loyalty is first to the cause of righteousness, not to crown and country. Adventuring Paladins take their work seriously. A delve into an ancient ruin or dusty crypt can be a quest driven by a higher purpose than the acquisition of treasure. Evil lurks in dungeons and primeval forests, and even the smallest victory against it can tilt the cosmic balance away from oblivion. Creating a paladin. The most important aspect of a paladin character is the nature of his or her holy quest. Although the class features related to your oath don't appear until you reach 3rd level, plan ahead for that choice by reading the oath descriptions at the end of the class. Are you a devoted servant of good, loyal to the god of justice and honor? A holy knight in shining armor venturing forth to smite evil? Are you a glorious champion of the light, cherishing everything beautiful that stands against the shadow? A knight whose oath descends from tradition older than many of the gods? Or are you an embittered loner sworn to take vengeance on those who have done great evil, sent as an angel of death by the gods or driven by your own revenge? Appendix B lists many deities worshipped by paladins throughout the multiverse, such as Torm, Tyr, Heraneus, Paladin, Kiri Jolith, Dol Ara, the Silver Flame, Bahamut, Athena, Re Horakti, and Heimdall. How did you experience your call to serve as a paladin? Did you hear a whisper from an unseen god or angel while you were at prayer? Did another paladin sense the potential within you and decide to train you as a squire? Or did some terrible event, the destruction of your home perhaps, drive you to your quests? Perhaps you stumbled into a sacred grove or a hidden elven enclave and found yourself called to protect all such refugees of goodness and beauty. Or you might have known from your earliest memories that the paladin's life was your calling, almost as if you had been sent into the world with that purpose stamped on your soul. As guardians against the forces of wickedness, paladins are rarely of any evil alignment. Most of them walk the path of charity and justice. Consider how your alignment colors the way you pursue your holy quest and the manner in which you conduct yourself before gods and mortals. Your oath and alignment might be in harmony, or your oath might represent standards of behavior that you have not yet attained. Quick build. You can make a paladin quickly by following these suggestions. First, strength should be your highest ability score, followed by charisma. Second, choose the noble background. As a paladin, you gain the following class features. Hit points. 1d10 per paladin level. Your hit points at 1st level are 10 plus your constitution modifier. Your hit points at higher levels are 1d10 or 6 plus your constitution modifier per paladin level after 1st. You are proficient in all armors and shields. You are also proficient with simple weapons and martial weapons, but you have no proficiency in any tool. You have proficiency in wisdom and charisma saving throws and you can choose 2 skills from athletics, insight, intimidation, medicine, persuasion, and religion. You start with the following equipment in addition to the equipment granted by your background: a martial weapon and a shield, or 2 martial weapons, 5 javelins, or any simple melee weapon, a priest's pack or an explorer's pack, chainmail, and a holy symbol. Divine sense. The presence of strong evil registers on your senses like a noxious odor, and powerful good rings like heavenly music in your ears. As an action, you can open your awareness to detect such forces. Until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. You know the type, celestial, fiend, or undead, of any being whose presence you sense, but not its identity. The vampire Count Strahd von Zarovich, for instance, of whom we have heard here before. Within the same radius, you also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hallow spell. You can use this feature a number of times equal to 1 plus your charisma modifier. When you finish a long rest, you regain all expended uses. Lay on hands. Your blessed touch can heal wounds. You have a pool of healing power that replenishes when you take a long rest. With that pool, you can restore a total number of hit points equal to your Paladin level times 5. As an action, you can touch a creature and draw power from the pool to restore a number of hit points to that creature, up to the maximum amount of remaining in your pool. Alternatively, you can expend 5 hit points from your pool of healing to cure the target of 1 disease or neutralize 1 poison affecting it. You can cure multiple diseases and neutralize multiple poisons with a single use of Lay on Hands, expending hit points separately for each one. This feature has no effect on undead and constructs. Fighting style. At 2nd level, you adopt the style of fighting as your specialty. Choose one of the following options. You can't take a fighting style option more than once, even if you later get to choose again. Defense. While you are wearing armor, you gain a +1 bonus to AC. Dueling. When you are wielding a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons, you gain a +2 bonus to damage rolls with that weapon. Great weapon fighting. When you roll a 1 or 2 on a damage die for an attack you make with a melee weapon that you are wielding with 2 hands, you can re-roll the die and must use the new roll. The weapon must have the 2-handed or versatile property for you to gain this benefit. Protection. When a creature you can see attacks a target other than you that is within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll. You must be wielding a shield. Spellcasting. By 2nd level, you have learned to draw on divine magic through meditation and prayer to cast spells as a cleric does. See Chapter 10 for the general rules of spellcasting and Chapter 11 for the Paladin spell list. Preparing and casting spells. The Paladin table shows how many spell slots you have to cast your Paladin spells. To cast one of your Paladin spells of first level or higher, you must expend a slot of the spell's level or higher. You regain all expended spell slots when you finish a long rest. You prepare the list of Paladin spells that are available for you to cast, choosing from the Paladin spell list. When you do so, choose a number of Paladin spells equal to your Charisma modifier plus half your Paladin level rounded down, with a minimum of 1 spell. The spell must be of a level for which you have spell slots. For example, if you are a 5th level Paladin, you have 4 first level and 2 second level spell slots. With a Charisma of 14, your list of prepared spells can include 4 spells of first or second level in any combination. If you prepare the first level spell Cure Wounds, you can cast it using a first level or second level slot. Casting the spell doesn't remove it from your list of prepared spells. You can change your list of prepared spells when you finish a long rest. Preparing a new list of Paladin spells requires time spent in prayer and meditation, at least 1 minute per spell level for each spell on your list. Spellcasting ability. Charisma is your spellcasting ability for your Paladin spells, since their power derives from the strength of your convictions. You use your Charisma whenever a spell refers to your spellcasting ability. In addition, you use your Charisma modifier when setting the saving throw DC for a Paladin spell you cast and when making an attack roll with 1. Spell save DC equals 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your Charisma modifier. Your spell attack modifier equals your proficiency bonus plus your Charisma modifier. Spellcasting focus. You can use a holy symbol as a spellcasting focus for your Paladin spells. Divine Smite. Starting at 2nd level, when you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, you can expend 1 spell slot to deal radiant damage to the target in addition to the weapon's damage. The extra damage is 2d8 for first level spell slot, plus 1d8 for each spell level higher than first, to a maximum of 5d8. The damage increases by 1d8 if the target is an undead or a fiend, to a maximum of 6d8. And that, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary folks, is why Paladins are very important in the campaign setting of Curse of Strahd. And I am waiting for the moment my Paladin figures out that he's the MVP. Divine Health. By 3rd level, the divine magic flowing through you makes you immune to disease. Sacred Oath. When you reach 3rd level, you swear the oath that binds you as a Paladin forever. Up to this time you have been in a preparatory stage, committed to the path, but not yet sworn to it. Now you choose the Oath of Devotion, the Oath of the Ancients, or the Oath of Vengeance, all detailed at the end of the class description. Your choice grants you features at 3rd level and again at 7th, 15th and 20th level. Those features include oath spells and the Channel Divinity feature. Oath spells. Each oath has a list of associated spells. You gain access to these spells at the level specified in the oath description. Once you gain access to an oath spell, you always have it prepared. Oath spells don't count against the number of spells you can prepare each day. If you gain an oath spell that doesn't appear on the Paladin spell list, the spell is nonetheless a Paladin spell for you. Channel Divinity. Your oath allows you to channel divine energy to fuel magical effects. Each Channel Divinity option provided by your oath explains how to use it. When you use your Channel Divinity, you choose which option to use. You must then finish a short or long rest to use your Channel Divinity again. Some Channel Divinity effects require saving throws. When you use such an effect from this class, the DC equals your Paladin spell save DC. Ability score improvement. When you reach 4th level and again at 8th, 12th, 16th and 19th level, you can increase one ability score of your choice by 2, or you can increase 2 ability scores of your choice by 1. As normal, you can't increase an ability score above 20 using this feature. Extra attack. Beginning at 5th level, you can attack twice instead of once whenever you take the attack action on your turn. Aura of Protection. Starting at 6th level, whenever you or a friendly creature within 10 feet of you must make a saving throw, the creature gains a bonus to the saving throw equal to your Charisma modifier, with a minimum bonus of +1. You must be conscious to grant this bonus. At 18th level, the range of this aura increases to 30 feet. Aura of Courage. Starting at 10th level, you and friendly creatures within 10 feet of you can't be frightened while you are conscious. At 18th level, the range of this aura increases to 30 feet. Improved Divine Smite. By 11th level, you are so suffused with righteous might that all your melee weapon strikes carry divine power with them. Whenever you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, the creature takes an extra 1d8 radiant damage. Cleansing Touch. Beginning at 14th level, you can use your action to end one spell on yourself or on one willing creature that you touch. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your Charisma modifier, with a minimum of once. You regain expended uses when you finish a long rest. Sacred Oath. Becoming a paladin involves taking vows that commit the paladin to the cause of righteousness, an active path of fighting wickedness. The final oath, taken when he or she reaches 3rd level, is the culmination of all the paladin's training. Some characters with this class don't consider themselves true paladins until they have reached 3rd level and made this oath. For others, the actual swearing of the oath is a formality, an official stamp on what has always been true in the paladin's heart. Breaking your oath. A paladin tries to hold to the highest standards of conduct, but even the most virtuous paladin is fallible. Sometimes the right path proves too demanding, sometimes a situation calls for the lesser of two evils, and sometimes the heat of emotion causes a paladin to transgress his or her oath. A paladin who has broken a vow typically seeks absolution from a cleric who shares his or her faith, or from another paladin of the same order. The paladin might spend an all-night vigil in prayer as a sign of penitence, or undertake a fast or a similar act of self-denial. After a rite of confession and forgiveness, the paladin starts fresh. If a paladin willfully violates his or her oath and shows no sign of repentance, the consequences can be more serious. At the DM's discretion, an impenitent paladin might be forced to abandon this class and adopt another, or perhaps to take the Oathbreaker paladin option that appears in the Dungeon Master's Guide. Oath of Devotion. The Oath of Devotion binds a paladin to the loftiest ideals of justice, virtue, and order. Sometimes called cavaliers, white knights, or holy warriors, these paladins meet the ideal of the knight in shining armor, acting with honor in pursuit of justice and the greater good. They hold themselves to the highest standards of conduct, and some, for better or worse, hold the rest of the world to the same standards. Many who swear this oath are devoted to gods of law and good, and use their gods' tenets as the measure of their devotion. They hold angels, the perfect servants of good, as their ideals, and incorporate images of angelic wings into their helmets or coats of arms. Tenets of devotion. Though the exact words and strictures of the Oath of Devotion vary, paladins of this oath share these tenets. Honesty. Don't lie or cheat. Let your word be your promise. Courage. Never fear to act, though caution is wise. Compassion. Aid others, protect the weak, and punish those who threaten them. Show mercy to your foes, but temper it with wisdom. Honor. Treat others with fairness, and let your honorable deeds be an example to them. Do as much good as possible, while causing the least amount of harm. Duty. Be responsible for your actions and their consequences. Protect those entrusted to your care, and obey those who have just authority over you. Oath of Devotion spells. Protection from evil and good. Sanctuary. Lesser restoration. Zone of truth. Beacon of hope. Dispel magic. Freedom of movement. Guardian of faith. Commune. And flame strike. Channel divinity. When you take this oath at 3rd level, you gain the following 2 channel divinity options. Sacred weapon. As an action, you can imbue one weapon that you are holding with positive energy, using your channel divinity. For 1 minute, you add your charisma modifier to attack rolls made with that weapon. The weapon also emits bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light 20 feet beyond that. If the weapon is not already magical, it becomes magical for the duration. You can end this effect on your turn as a part of any other action. If you are no longer holding or carrying this weapon, or if you fall unconscious, this effect ends. Turn the unholy. As an action, you present your holy symbol and speak a prayer, censuring fiends and undead, using your channel divinity. Each fiend or undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails its saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. A turned creature must spend its turn trying to move as far away from you as it can, and it can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you. It also can't take reactions. For its action, it can use only the dash action or try to escape from an effect that prevents it from moving. If there's nowhere to move, the creature can use the dodge action. Aura of Devotion. Starting at 7th level, you and friendly creatures within 10 feet of you can't be charmed while you are conscious. At 18th level, the range of this aura increases to 30 feet. Purity of Spirit. Beginning at 15th level, you are always under the effects of a protection from evil and good spell. Holy Nimbus. At 20th level, as an action, you can emanate an aura of sunlight. For 1 minute, bright light shines from you in a 30-foot radius, and dim light shines 30 feet beyond that. Whenever an enemy creature starts its turn in the bright light, the creature takes 10 radiant damage. In addition, for the duration, you have advantage on saving throws against spells cast by fiends and undead. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. Oath of the Ancients. The Oath of the Ancients is as old as the race of elves and the rituals of the druids. Sometimes called Fey Knights, Green Knights, or Horned Knights, paladins who swear this oath cast their lot with the sight of the light in the cosmic struggle against darkness, because they love the beautiful and life-giving things of the world, not necessarily because they believe in principles of honor, courage, and justice. They adorn their armor and clothing with images of growing things, leaves, antlers, or flowers, to reflect their commitment to preserving life and light in the world. The tenets of the Oath of the Ancients have been preserved for uncounted centuries. This oath emphasizes the principles of good above any concerns of law or chaos. Its 4 central principles are simple. Kindle the light. Through your acts of mercy, kindness, and forgiveness, kindle the light of hope in the world, beating back despair. Shelter the light. Where there is good, beauty, love, and laughter in the world, stand against the wickedness that would swallow it. Where life flourishes, stand against the forces that would render it barren. Preserve your own light. Delight in song and laughter, in beauty and art. If you allow the light to die in your own heart, you can't preserve it in the world. Be the light. Be a glorious beacon for all who live in despair. Let the light of your joy and courage shine forth in all your deeds. These gave me goosebumps. Oath of the Ancients spells. Ensnaring Strike, Speak with Animals, Misty Step, Moonbeam, Plant Growth, Protection from Energy, Ice Storm, Stone Skin, Commune with Nature, and Tree Stride. Channel Divinity. When you take this oath at 3rd level, you gain the following 2 Channel Divinity options. Nature's Wrath. You can use your Channel Divinity to invoke primeval forces to ensnare a foe. As an action, you can cause spectral vines to spring up and reach for a creature within 10 feet of you that you can see. The creature must succeed on a Strength or Dexterity saving throw, its choice, or be restrained. While restrained by the vines, the creature repeats the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. On a success, it frees itself and the vines vanish. Turn the Faithless. You can use your Channel Divinity to utter ancient words that are painful for Fae and Fiends to hear. As an action, you present your holy symbol, and each Fae or Fiend within 30 feet of you that can hear you must make a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. A turned creature must spend its turn trying to move as far away from you as it can, and it can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you. It also can't take reactions. For its action, it can use only the dash action or try to escape from an effect that prevents it from moving. If there's nowhere to move, the creature can use the dodge action. If the creature's true form is concealed by an illusion, shape-shifting, or other effect, that form is revealed while it is turned. Aura of Warding. Beginning at 7th level, ancient magic lies so heavily upon you that it forms an eldritch ward. You and friendly creatures within 10 feet of you have resistance to damage from spells. At 18th level, the range of this aura increases to 30 feet. Undying Sentinel. Starting at 15th level, when you are reduced to 0 hit points and are not killed outright, you can choose to drop to 1 hit point instead. Once you use this ability, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. Additionally, you suffer none of the drawbacks of old age, and you can't be aged magically. Elder Champion. At 20th level, you can assume the form of an ancient force of nature, taking on an appearance you choose. For example, your skin might turn green or take on a bark-like texture. Your hair might become leafy or moss-like. Or you might sprout antlers or a lion-like mane. Well, that's cool. Using your action, you undergo a transformation. For 1 minute, you gain the following benefits. At the start of each of your turns, you regain 10 hit points. Whenever you cast a Paladin spell that has a casting time of 1 action, you can cast it using a bonus action instead. Enemy creatures within 10 feet of you have disadvantage on saving throw against your Paladin spells and Channel Divinity options. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. Moving on to the Oath of Vengeance. That's the oath my Paladin choose in my Curse of Strahd campaign. The Oath of Vengeance is a solemn commitment to punish those who have committed a grievous sin. When evil forces slaughter helpless villagers, when an entire people turn against the will of the gods, when a thieves' guild grows too violent and powerful, when a dragon rampages through the countryside, at times like these, paladins arise and swear an oath of vengeance to set right that which has gone wrong. To these paladins, sometimes called avengers or dark knights, their own purity is not as important as delivering justice. The tenets of the Oath of Vengeance vary by paladin, but all the tenets revolve around punishing wrongdoers by any means necessary. Paladins who uphold these tenets are willing to sacrifice even their own righteousness to mete out justice upon those who do evil. So the paladins are often neutral or lawful neutral in alignment. The core principles are brutally simple. Fight the greater evil. Faced with a choice of fighting my sworn foes or combating a lesser evil, I chose the greater evil. No mercy for the wicked. Ordinary foes might win my mercy, but my sworn enemies don't. By any means necessary. My qualms can't get in the way of exterminating my foes. Restitution. If my foes wreak ruin on the world, it is because I failed to stop them. I must help those harmed by their misdeeds. Well, that explains a lot of my paladin's actions in the last 2 sessions. Wow. See, this is what you get as a DM if you forget stuff like this about your players. Oh dear. Moving on to the spells. Bane, Hunter's Mark, Hold Person, Misty Step, Haste, Protection from Energy, Banishment, Dimension Door, Hold Monster, and Scrying. Channel Divinity. Again, you get 2 options at 3rd level. Abjure Enemy. As an action, you present your holy symbol and speak a prayer of denunciation using your channel divinity. Choose one creature within 60 feet of you that you can see. The creature must make a wisdom saving throw unless it is immune to being frightened. Fiends and undead have disadvantage on these saving throws. On a failed save, the creature is frightened for 1 minute or until it takes damage. While frightened, the creature's speed is 0 and it can't benefit from any bonus to its speed. On a successful save, the creature's speed is halved for 1 minute or until it takes damage. Vow of Enmity. As a bonus action, you can utter a vow of enmity against a creature you can see within 10 feet of you, using your channel divinity. You gain advantage on attack rolls against the creature for 1 minute or until it drops to 0 hit points or falls unconscious. Relentless Avenger. By 7th level, your supernatural focus helps you close off a foe's retreat. When you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, you can move up to half your speed immediately after the attack and as part of the same reaction. This movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. Soul of Vengeance. Starting at 15th level, the authority with which you speak your vow of enmity gives you greater power over your foe. When a creature under the effect of your vow of enmity makes an attack, you can use your reaction to make a melee weapon attack against that creature if it is within range. Avenging Angel. At 20th level you can assume the form of an angelic avenger. Using your action, you undergo a transformation. For 1 hour, you gain the following benefits. Wings sprout from your back and grant you a flying speed of 60 feet. You emanate an aura of menace in a 30-foot radius. The first time any enemy creature enters the aura or starts its turn there during a battle, the creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you for 1 minute, or until it takes damage. Attack rolls against the frightened creature have advantage. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. So much for the Paladin, my dear friends. I have a lot to think about having read this again. Anyway, I hope as always that you found this relaxing. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. Have a great day or a great night, and see you again next time. Bye bye, fellow nerds.